Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all are having an amazing day, and welcome to my second video of 2022. I'm not going to count all my other videos starting now, but, new year, new things coming. But yeah, this video is going to be a standard video, and it is going to be the best manga I've read in 2021. I read absolute bangers this year. I only read bangers because, that's just, I just consume goated manga. That's all I consume. That's all I read. And today I'm going to show you guys 4 of the best manga I read this year, or last year technically if you want to get technical. One of these series, or at least 2 of them, have entered in my top 5 and one of them has entered my top 3. But we'll get to that in a second. Before I get into my top 4, I guess if you want to say, I would really appreciate it if you guys would go down and click that subscribe button. Yeah, I work really hard for these on these videos for you guys, and I would really appreciate it. And above the subscribers, I want you guys to comment. I seriously love seeing comments on my videos. I love talking to people and just interacting with you guys. It is always a pleasure. It always makes my day when you guys write really nice comments, and it's just always so much fun. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into this video, shall we? Alright, so the first series we got is the one that entered in my top 3 last year, and that is Silver Spoon. Oh my god, this series is phenomenal. Everything about it, to the characters, to the art, to the plot, to the character progression, to the MC. It is just a phenomenal manga all around. Totally worthy of being my number 3. And for those dunces under a rock, I'll read the premise for you guys real quick. Defying the expectations of family and teachers, Yugo Hachiken chooses to leave the city and enroll at Izo Agriculture High School. Having always been at the top of his class, Yugo assumes a rural school will be a breeze. Mucking out stables, gathering eggs, and chasing errant calves take a lot out of him and fills him with something he's never experienced before. Surrounded by endless fields and fresh air, Yugo discovers a new connection to the land and to life. As you can tell by the synopsis, this series is extremely motivational and just inspiring, especially to me. I heavily relate to the MC, the way he doesn't know what he wants to do and just doing shit he doesn't know anything about. It resides within me a lot, and it's another reason why it's in my top 3. Hachiken is easily my favorite MC of all time. Seeing him grow into a very shy character who didn't know anything about what he wanted to do with his life in his future, to becoming an adult. It is such a beautiful story about just someone finding their love and passion for something, and I truly love that about this series, and I believe that's what makes it, above everything else, that is what makes it my top 3. The characters are phenomenal. For those who don't know, Hiromu Arakawa wrote and drew this manga, who is known for the infamous Full Metal Alchemist, and this series along with that does not disappoint. I do own volume 9 to 15, which is finished. The series is over. It's been over for about a year, I think, and this, oh my gosh, the ending was amazing. I know it didn't end off with Yugo, in his future. I mean, it did, but him not being successful, it's just him and how his life and what his actions did impacted other people's lives and how their lives impacted his. It is such a beautiful story about just growing up, and I would say coming of age, but that's for romance. But I'm gonna say coming of age, but not in romance ways, but just in life ways, and it is beautiful. I absolutely recommend this series. I would either recommend the anime or the manga. The anime has 2 seasons out right now. They're 11 episodes each, so they're 22 episodes in total. I definitely recommend that. The openings bang. Kiss Me by Miwa is an absolute banger. But yeah, this series is phenomenal. I cannot stress this enough. I am probably going to make a full video on this series soon. But yeah, definitely, if you are gonna take anything out of this video, read Silver Spoon. Please, I need more people to talk about it. But yeah, that is Silver Spoon. Next is a manga known for being my guilty pleasure, and that is How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift. Yes, this is one of the best mangas I read this year, or last year, and I'm gonna explain why. This series is just full of everything. Hella ecchi panels, super funny comedy, and really awesome characters. and big buff dudes. You can't go wrong with big buff dudes, am I right? But for those who don't know about this series, just like Silver Spoon, let me read the synopsis for you guys. Hibiki is a teenage girl who loves to eat, but when she notices her waistline expanding, she decides to check out the local gym. The gym is full of buff dudes, and Akemi, the student council president. When Akemi tries to convince Hibiki to take up weight training, Hibiki resists, until she meets pretty boy trainer Machio. Now, Hibiki is willing to do whatever it takes to get fit. Yep, it is that simple. This series is about lifting weights. It is that simple, and there's not much to it. It's just about these girls wanting to get in shape and just look good, you know, and I respect it. I respect it like crazy. But yeah, this series is amazing. Not only do I read this for the etchiness, the very, very, very etchy moments, which are phenomenal. They are gorgeous, but I also read this for the comedy and characters. I gotta say, the comedy's on point with this series. It doesn't miss. It made me laugh every single time I read this. Every volume I read has made me laugh in many ways, you know, cry laughing, you know, just giggling to chuckles, all that. This series is amazing. The characters, oh my god, Machio is easily my favorite character. He's just, when he's wearing his shirt, he's a scrawny little kid, but when, you know, he does a little flex, he turns into this big buff dude with hella biceps, and it's so funny. It never gets old. This series never gets old. There are some continuous jokes, but I do think they do them right to make them not stale or boring. But yeah, this series is amazing. Not only do I read it for the ecchi, I read it for the characters and comedy, and I think you should too. If you are interested in a super ecchi series, I definitely recommend this one, but if you're also interested in comedy, then I absolutely also recommend this one. For those that don't know as well, this is also intertwined with the Kengen universe, so Kengen Ashura and Kengen Omega do make an appearance in this manga. Not the manga, but like characters from the manga make an appearance in here, and it makes sense, you know? You go to a gym and you see Kengen characters working out. It makes a lot of sense. It never feels out of place or a ruiner to the plot or the moment they're in. It always adds to it, in my opinion. But yeah, this series is amazing. I definitely recommend this if you want an ecchi, guilty pleasure manga. But yeah, that is How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift. Next is a extremely, and I mean extremely, underrated series, and that is My Hero Academia Vigilantes. Yes, My Hero Academia. For those that don't know, this is a canon manga. Does intertwine with the My Hero universe, which you hear in the synopsis in a second. You see a lot of characters from the My Hero manga that show up in this manga. For example, Aizawa and Midnight are main characters that show up in this series from OG My Hero, and Aizawa is easily my favorite character of all time in My Hero, especially after reading Volume 8 and Volume 9, which are my two favorite volumes of the entire series so far. Yes, I do own the entire series. I own Volume 1 to Volume 11, and this series never gets old. It always just gets better and better and better. Aizawa's backstory was phenomenal with, I can't remember his name. I'm not going to say it because it might actually be a spoiler. Yeah, the series is phenomenal. I'm going to read the synopsis for you guys real quick. In the world of My Hero Academia, not everyone needs a license to fight for justice. In a superpowered society, there's nothing ordinary about evil anymore. Heroes, trained and licensed to protect and defend the public against supervillains, stand above all the rest. Not everyone can be a hero, however, and there are those who would use their powers to serve the people without legal sanction. But do they fight for justice in the shadows, or for reasons known only to themselves? Whatever they fight for, they are called vigilantes. Koichi Himawari couldn't make the cut to become an official hero, so he uses his modest quirk to do good deeds in his spare time. Then one day, a fateful encounter with some local thugs leads to him to team up with two other unlikely heroes. None of them really know what they're doing, but they've got the courage, or foolishness, to try. But they soon discover fighting evil takes more than just being brave. Yeah, you heard it here first, folks. This is intertwined in the My Hero universe, like I just explained. You do see other characters like Endeavor and Miriko in this series as well, and it is such a phenomenal read. I have to give it to the mangaka of this series. This art is really, really, really nice, I have to say. It is a different mangaka to the My Hero manga, so it is a little bit more cartoonish than what My Hero art looks like now, but it's still a really, really good series that covers some very bloody topics. Sometimes the arc we're on now was actually kind of really serious, but it never fails to amaze me this series. Every volume just keeps getting better and better and better. For those who saw one of my hauls, I believe I picked up like 6 or 7 volumes of this series in a month, so you can tell how in love I am with this series, and I still am in love with this series, and I do absolutely plan to pick this up for as long as it's coming out. I will be there for the day it finishes, and I cannot wait to continue this amazing, phenomenal manga. Alright, last but certainly not least, we have the infamous, legendary One Punch Man. This series, for those that don't know, is a phenomenal manga and one of the most influential animes out there for newer anime watchers, and is a staple in many manga collections, including mine. Now, for those that don't know, I only own volume 12 to 23, and the only reason why I don't own 1 to 11 is because I used to own it, then my dumbass sold it like 2 or 3 years ago. But so I'm picking up everything after 11, so 12 and on. And I gotta say, from what I remember before then, obviously I've seen the anime, so I can say clearly that this series from the beginning was phenomenal, and it is still phenomenal right now. I'm gonna say the word phenomenal a lot, I apologize. I gotta say, Saitama is a great main character. He's very 2D, just like Koichi, but like I said earlier, I don't think you need a full 3D character with a lot of personality to be a good MC. But before I continue with this series, let me read the synopsis to those who, oddly enough, don't know anything about this manga. Everything about a young man named Saitama screams average. From his lifeless expression, to his bald head, to his unimpressive physique. However, this average-looking fellow doesn't have your average problem. He's actually a superhero that looks for tough opponents. The problem is, every time he finds a promising candidate, he beats the snot out of them in one punch. Can Saitama finally find an evil villain strong enough to challenge him? Follow Saitama through his hilarious romps as he searches for his new bad guys to challenge. Yeah, the plot is really simple. It's just a man that beats people up with one punch. It's quite simple, but they make it so much fun. Yusuke Murata is easily one of the best mangakas out there. He has some of the best art you will ever see in manga, and just a phenomenal art style. I believe the arc we're on now with the League of Villains, is it the League of Villains? I can't remember the name of the group of villains that we're fighting right now, has been going on since volume 12, and it is amazing. Along with Garu is an amazing villain. He is so cool. He is so badass. I cannot wait to see more of him, and I've seen panels of the later chapters online, like past volume 23, and it looks really cool. I cannot wait to collect more of this series. I do own, like I said, I believe I've said this, 12 to 23, so I own 12 volumes, and every volume I've read is so good. This series never disappoints. While you do think that Saitama would get boring, he does. That's why we have a wide range of side characters that are just as cool, and the baddest bitch in anime manga, Fubuki, is also in this series, and she just adds that little extra, spice to the series, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, this series is amazing, astronomical. It is a staple in everyone's collection, including mine, and I cannot wait to collect more. Yeah, I gotta say, great series, great antagonist, great protagonist, amazing side cast, some of the best comedy you'll ever read. But yeah, that is One Punch Man. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.